this Sunday. It's the Arc de la Triomphe. Have I said that right?
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, ish. Where do we start? We're obviously going to start, I think, with the favourite, Tagruda.
I think where we start, Peter, is because you like these big group races. I want to ask you a question. She grilled me last week. How do you go about assessing the Japanese form with the English form, the French form, and whatever else?
Well, to answer your question, what I do is I look at the Japanese form and I see what kind of ground they've run on, and in most cases it's firm, apart from one of them we'll talk about later on. You can't equate the form of Japanese runners, in all honesty, but the French and the English runners, I think you can. Just by the fact that you have video replays and you can watch over them. I did try to find the Japanese replays of some of these and I couldn't. So you find that aspect of it harder as a global group race. That's what you're saying, really.
Yes, because you can take a view on. Japanese horses are probably going to continue to make a presence and probably grow in growing their sort of market share, if you like, over the years. But it is difficult for me to look at the different form lines and say, well, I'm going to take a view on this and this. You can choose the best European horse, you can choose the best Japanese horse, but left with two, how do you compare the Japanese form? Interesting.
I put it down to the ground, and then try to ascertain the ratings, and then I think there's three Japanese, well, certainly three that I've looked through, and I would have a favourite out of three. But I think you associate the race with horses that you followed, i.e. Tagruda, Kingston Hill, Roar of the World,
because you know those.
Because you know them. And you could get flummoxed by going for a Japanese option. But I take your point, because you just don't know how good they are.
No, your point about the ground is interesting. Obviously, if it is really soft, then it may favour the European horses more. But
I tell you what, we're obviously broadcasting this show before the draw, and I would say that 9 winners in the last 10 years have been drawn between 1 and 8. Last year, Trev won it from draw 15. You don't think that matters too much, statistical-wise?
Well, I think last year Trev showed if you're the best horse, you can win the race from wherever. And I think what happens in these kind of races is when people trot out stats and say, oh yeah, in 8 of the last 10 years it's been won by a horse drawn low, you kind of get that air of inevitability that it's going to go wrong this year. Not go wrong, but if you're going to bet now, it wouldn't put me off. If you're on the best horse, 20 runners.
So you're not one of these who if it's drawn 15, it puts me off. You might even get a better price.
I have been like that in the past, but I've kind of gone away from that a little bit. And I think if you look at last year, and you look at any race, and you can say, well, actually that works out. Is people get a bit fixated with the draw. I wouldn't be that as bothered as some people.
Okay. This race has been run by See the Stars, Monsieur, Workforce, Dylan Thomas. Is Tagruda potentially as good as those?
Well, she is. I mean, what's her performance in the Oaks? And she really did look like an exceptional filly. And, I know she got beaten last time, but...
Was that more down to Ryan Moore's jockeyship or the fact that Tagruda, in John Gosden's own words, she was nice and that relaxed afterwards, gave a normal blow, there was absolutely no excuses at all, it's simple that the other filly outstayed her. Would that worry you?
No, it wouldn't. I think when she won the King George again, she was ultra impressive. It's a fantastic day to see. And, mares, fillies, they get beat. I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, she's I suppose, been on the go a long time, and that's always a bit of a worry for me this time of year. But she is one of these in this field that could just be, she could win this and go down as one of the best fillies in recent history. And I kind of hope she does.
Ektot is another one that you like. Came back from a break, won convincingly last time. I'm not convinced, but you've got an argument to say Ektot maybe. It was the fastest of the 3 trials. There was 3 trials there.
Yeah. I mean, he's won, what, 6 from 7?
Yeah.
And the first time he goes, always sort of race over a mile. First time he goes up to 12 furlongs, you think, what's going to happen here? And he kind of bolts up, really. So... that's the exciting thing. He's looked, to me, a really nice colt. And when he stepped up in trip, he looked even better. So, there could be more to come from him.
I was impressed with the way the horse travelled in terms of... was pulling quite a bit, then found a lot more. I just don't know. I think either idled when right in front or... I visually it was impressive, but I do worry that when the horse hasn't run for some time, then comes back, and then, 3 or 4 weeks later... I mean, I know it's a trial anyway, and that's the whole reason why you're doing it. But it's that little gap does worry me. that you may have seen the best fresh.
Yeah, it's a fair point, but you know, when you look at Colt, who's won that many, I don't think there's any problems with his constitutional temperaments. And again, if you just look at something in here, I mean, this race tends to go to 3-year-old more often than not, maybe. And again, it's difficult because I don't follow French racing particularly well, so you got to sort of watch the videos and say, what do I think? I thought he was a nice colt. I think he's got a real chance. He's certainly worth his place at near the head of the market, in my opinion.
Okay, Avenir Certain, what do we say? I mean, that beat Miss France, who's the winner over here, of the Guineas over here. So the form's quite strong. Ran about third favourite, 7-1. What do we feel?
I didn't feel that I felt the stamina was assured for her. I don't know how you feel about that. I wasn't sure she really wants 12 furlongs.
No, I agree totally.
Yeah. Pass that one off then.
Oh, right, okay. This is where we get into the Japanese side of things. We've got Just Away, Gold Ship. There are 2 of them, and Harp Star is another one. So there's 3 Japanese. They're all priced around about the same way here. I think the most impressive of the 3 is Just Away.
Oh dear, okay.
Yeah, because the way it won at Meydan, I mean, it demolished quite a good field in Meydan. Meydan and soft turf, if it turns out to be soft, on Sunday. The forecast is for rain, actually.
Well,
I did look out
that.
I did look out for that.
How much rain? It's good soft at the minute. If it turns into a mud bath, I would agree that the Japanese horses might all struggle. I didn't, if I'm honest. I think what you said earlier about, you know, maybe pick the best of the Japanese, have a look and take a view.
You didn't agree with my one then?
No, I don't.
Which one did you like then? Gold Ship?
No. I like Harp Star. I think she was just touched off in the Japanese Oaks. And that was.
I love the way we talk the Japanese Oaks.
Japanese Oaks.
The Japanese Oaks.
Japanese Oaks. Always about Japanese Oaks to me.
But people will be doing it on the day as well, so it doesn't matter really, does it?
Well, no. Yeah, you got to dig in and have a look. And from what I could see, and again, it's hard to find videos, but you know, she ran a really good race there by all accounts, and then improved again next time over 10 furlongs. You know, although she got beat, I think, by Gold Ship.
Yeah.
I just thought if I was backing one Japanese, it would definitely be Harp Star. So I'm going to have a small bet on that.
I mean, the only worry about that, and I talked about the ground, the only wins have been on lightning fast ground. That was the one reason why out of all the horses, I didn't go for that one, because Just Away has won on the soft, and at Meydan as well. And the splits, I mean, at Meydan were staggering. 400 metres to 25.02 seconds, 47.12 over 800 metres. I mean, Just Away was pretty lightning when winning in Meydan. Trev is the other one, ran about 10-1. Last year, got sweated up, got stuck wide, drawn 15.
Yep.
I personally think that the slower the ground, the better. I think the last time was a prep run for this, and I'm. Whereas Dettori sort of against Sur des Anges at first time really did go for the horse. I'm not so sure last time Trev, the jockey, went for it full pelt, and I think this race was in mind.
Maybe,
and I think 10-1 is a terrific price.
But what a massive performance last year! What a massive, as you say, you know, nothing really went particularly her way, and she won so easily. There was always kind of an air of inevitability that she'd come out and get beat. You know, that's always likely to happen. She's been beat 3 times, I think, at odds on each time. So three defeats.
But the ground was, you know, when she ran at Ascot, it was quite a quick ground. I know a Magician finished in front of her, and the Fugue finished in front of her.
You can make excuses. You can make excuses for the ground. You can make excuses for how the jockey might have ridden her. But I just kind of think that was such a big effort last year. If Cricket Head can get her back this year as good, that's a massive training performance.
But I just like the way she ran last time. In as much, if you watch the jockey, he's not at any point trying to win that race.
Well,
what I mean is, he's not used the whip. He's generally just pushed the horse out.
Yeah.
As I say, look, I mean, and there's reasons for that. I mean, the horse had been out injured, and they probably said, well, look after him. Because it's quite interesting that the trainer could turn around and has always said that this horse would be better 4 than 3. Now, we haven't seen the best of her. but sometimes this course can bring out the best of horses, and I think you're going to get a better run.
When was the last Dual Arc winner? Was it all along?
Well, I don't know. Maybe someone can put that on your YouTube
fans,
channel.
Yeah, do tell us. But I just think it'd be a massive, massive ask for her, and if she does it, it'd be fantastic. But I'm glad it's your money, not my money, going on her.
Well, I'm very keen on Trev. Very keen.
What about your old friend Kingston Hill?
Well, Kingston Hill, this is a horse that I said all along, do it for the St Leger, do it for the St Leger. What did I do? A week before, I talked everyone out of it and talked myself out of it, down to ground. I don't think Kingston Hill's got the class to win this, although I don't think it's a vintage Arc either. When I say vintage, I mean, we've got horses like Tagruda in there, but there's a lot of unknowns. Kingston Hill, I think, could run on to be placed. Potentially. The
ground could be in his favour, and then he's got the form to run a huge race. I don't sort of feel it myself either. I don't sort of feel that sort of magic. He's probably fairly priced at 14, 16 to 1. But it'd be nice to see him win.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got another one, Ivanhoe, who beat See the Moon, who was retired shortly afterwards. William Buick gets the ride. Yeah. I know little about this horse, but I wouldn't say that German form would be that strong. Bearing in mind, See the Moon retired afterwards, and may have been some injury there.
Well, that's the key point, absolutely. Yeah. And again, I'm not big on German form, but you've got to say if See the Moon wasn't at his best, then what's the value of the form? And I think he's possibly a Group 2 horse, really, in a Group 1 race here. So I'd be. I thought his price was quite short, really. Well, it's not short; he's only 20 to 1, but. Yeah. I didn't see any particular reason to jump on him.
Now, they're all hyping on the fact that Frankie Dettori does not ride Trev and instead is likely to ride Rule of the World. Yeah. This one was the slowest of the 3 trials. If Rule of the World wins the Arc, I think I don't know what I would do.
I think, what was he, 7th last year, and he didn't get the best of runs. He could have finished closer, but that was probably his best chance as a 3-year-old. If he
we're going to ask the question: why does Aidan O'Brien let him go?
Let him go.
Well, it doesn't try out Rule of the World anymore.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry, yeah. He wasn't a vintage Derby winner, was he, really, if you're honest? And, you can't really see him improve on last year. But it'd be nice for Frankie, personally, to win the race, but, no, he wouldn't be on my shortlist.
There are others here, Chiquita, Flintshire, anything else? Alcazim, obviously.
No.
Why would a horse like Alcazim run in the St Leger?
Well, obviously the Alcazim story is a bit sad, really, isn't it? He's trying to find his level. This isn't it, to be honest. As a 6-year-old, he won't be winning this. If you wanted an outsider, just give a mention to Flintshire. I just thought, I know he's been behind a few of these, but he's with good connections, and I could just see him in a big race. He's bred. I think he'll stay, and I think he was about 33 to 1. So if you wanted an outsider.
Right, okay, so we might not necessarily want an outsider. I think what we might want is the winner. So who are you going to go for in this year's Arc?
Well, I was thinking all the way here, Ektotal to Tagruda. I'm actually going to go with Tagruda. It is a little bit of heart over head. It's not a big betting race for me, but I do think Tagruda could go down as one of the sort of special fillies of our generation. And I'm going to go with her. I'm going to give the Japanese one a little Harp Star a little bit as well.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for Trev. I really do think Trev. Maybe it's sentimental, but I do think ran about 10 to 1. And I think also on the day, the horse will shorten as well, because I think 10 to 1. If that's where the price is at the moment, I think it'll finish ahead of Ektotal.
Do you think the draw is going to cause a massive shift in the prices? Because it can do.
I think it probably will do, but as you said, bearing in mind last year, Trev was drawn 15. I'm not so sure it should. But I think people are wondering, what about the draw, what about the draw? And as soon as you mentioned 9 times in the last 10 years that the drawn 1 to 8, you're straight away thinking, well, I'm going to cross out anything over 9, aren't you? Yeah,
and at the point where the bookmakers make that adjustment, that's where the value is. So that's where there is opportunity to just have a think and don't just follow the herd and think, well, maybe actually that one could drop in from a wide draw and get home.